South Korea has actually been a colony of China since time immemorial. Korean culture is centered around China, and Koreans like to deny this. But it's a historical fact.
Student, do you have any evidence for that claim?
Of course. Korea is said to have inherited a country from the past, Gojoseon. But in fact, Gojoseon was just a provincial government in China, because it was founded by a reporter set by the Chinese government at that time. In other words, Gojoseon was founded by Chinese people.
First of all, the reporter was not Chinese. He was from Gojoseon. Furthermore, Gojoseon was not a province of China at the time, but rather one of the most powerful countries in East Asia at the time.
But
at that time, all the countries around Gojoseon used to pay tribute to Gojoseon. And Gojoseon didn't just control the Korean peninsula, it controlled all of Manchuria, which is where China is now, so you could say that China is an offshoot of Gojoseon.
That's not true. I'm right. The Chinese founded Gojoseon. Korea was a province of China.
I've been studying East Asian history for decades, and I've rarely heard such a thing, or rather, I've heard some Chinese scholars make such claims, but they're all based on faulty evidence, and I've even heard some scholars make such claims with fabricated evidence.
But my China was the most powerful and great country in East Asia. That's ridiculous.
History is not written by claims, but by records. We should always look at the records and sources carefully. We should not just look at one or two records, but compare and analyze many records to find the truth. That is the way to be a true scholar.
Gojoseon was a local government in China. It's an obvious historical fact.
There are countless records that show the opposite, not only in Gojoseon, which was a very powerful state at the time, but also in later states, such as Silla and Goryeo. In the Three Kingdoms Chronicles, we find that Gojoseon was very powerful and ruled the entire Manchurian region, and in the Chronicles of the Joseon dynasty, we find references to Gojoseon, and we even find references to China losing a war against Gojoseon at that time. That's why scholars consider Korean history to be 5,000 years old.
But we, China, are the oldest and greatest country in East Asia. The professor is wrong.
That's just a lie. Furthermore, we scholars don't make judgments about which country is the greatest, or which country is the greatest, or which country is right or wrong. We just look at the historical facts and try to find the truth.
Didn't Korea pay tribute to China before? And if you look at things like that, wasn't Korea a colony of China after all? Apologize.
That's nonsense. Korea was not dependent on China at that time. On the contrary, China was dependent on Korea. China was not a unified country at the time, so it needed to look good to its neighbors, so it would return more gifts, or even give more gifts, to win the favor of Gojoseon.
That's a distortion. China was the greatest country in East Asia.
But this is the truth. Furthermore, at that time, China tried to invade Gojoseon, but was repeatedly defeated, and even perished in the aftermath of the war, so it could be said that Gojoseon was the center of East Asia at that time.
But, well...
Anything else?
But China. I'm not sure.